Hello and welcome. Today I will be showing you my new elevator, and I've made it with my new 2x2, or not 2x2, two-way slime block flying machine system here. So this is the first prototype here. It's very fast and it works pretty well, but if you, that's a little glitch there, but if you place one block, you can see that there's just one block extended on there. It just completely stops. So that's not good. And also, I have noticed that have been some ghost blocks. So I placed one block down. That one didn't have particles, so that was the ghost one. And then that one did, so that was the actual one. So yeah, sometimes that does happen. But let me activate that, and you can see it's pretty fast, but it can't add any more blocks. So what I did is I made it to where it can add blocks, but it is slower. So if I just place that there, you can see it still goes, but it is just a bit slower. And as you can see, you can add more blocks. So let me for this slime block section here, I think you can only add 2 blocks. So I just added 2 blocks there. And let me just get rid of those. Here you can add like a bit more, since it's like that, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can add like 6 more blocks here, maybe. Or, well, actually, I'm not counting the pistons down below, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like 4 more blocks. 1, 2, that's won't. Let me grab some slime blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can only add 4, yeah. You can only add 4 more onto that. If you add 1 more, it will stop. And I don't want it to stop, because this one is a little bit more temperamental. If you break it, it requires like a lot of effort to fix. Especially if it's already in a chamber. So I put this one in a chamber, and I've added 2 blocks onto this section, a chest just because I wanted to, and a block here because if I remove that, you're kind of stuck there. And I didn't really want that. So any blocks here can be any type of block, like those and these. But the terracotta, that has to be terracotta, like any type of terracotta, but just terracotta. Except for this row here. So if you don't want it to be like a random just kind of strip there, you can have this whole section be terracotta, or just regular blocks, because as you can see here, there are no slime blocks in this section here, so that means this can all be just normal blocks, but there is one slime block there, so it has to be terracotta. And there can be normal blocks here, so that would be this section here, actually. Oh, is it? Yeah, I think this section here doesn't have to be, oh, no, I'm looking at it wrong. So these 2 parts here can be just normal blocks, and then I think it's meaning that this section here and this section here, yeah. So these 2 parts here can be just normal blocks instead of terracotta, and I think that's it, because there's slime blocks on all the other rows. So yeah, I'm gonna show it in action, and this is the redstone behind it. I kind of threw together some stuff. So how the doors work, I made these blocks and then those terracotta, so then all these have to do is just push it out, and then these just kind of extend, and then on the retraction, these push one more to push the terracotta back in, and then it does a double retraction back. And that happens for all of those. And how it detects if it's there or not is with this T flip-flop system here. So right here is, well, let me show you with the actual thing, which is down here. So right here there's only Did that just activate? Oh yeah, it did. Whoops. So as you can see, um, there's only one block in this row in the slime block creation. So that means that there's only one pulse that will go through here that will flip. So right now I've actually activated it. So that means this thing right here thinks the elevator is on a different floor, so it's closed. But as soon as I cause another update to that observer, it activates T flip-flop again, and then it opens. And so what I did here, so to go down, you place a breakable item there, or just a normal block, but then you'd have to mine it as you're going down. So that's to go down, and then press that button to go up. So right now there's no more, so I could just place something there and nothing will happen because this is perpetually on because it can't go down anymore. And at the very top, let me do the emergency door. This is perpetually on. And if you're like stuck on the top floor, because there is no call system, and the main reason for that is because to go down, you'd have to activate that, but I have no way of activating that because I have that there to go up. So instead, I just have a emergency door system, so it automatically unlocks the door, and then you can just jump and land on the slime blocks here. And so yeah, and right here, that's the detection for the third floor, second floor, first floor. And you can space these however much you want apart. I think these two floors could be one more together. Uh, it just depends on how the circuit is made. This is, I would call this a sloppy circuit because I just kind of threw it together because it's only 3 floors. But if there's many more floors, I think I would put a little bit more like system into it. Like say I want to activate the certain section in there, I would just have like a certain spot where it goes. But since there's only 3 floors, this one only goes up, that one only goes down, this one goes up and down. I just had it like this. I just kind of threw it together, mainly. Which you could do, adding more, but it gets kind of more and more complicated. And I'd recommend working out a system. So how this works is, as you can see right here, these pistons are inset here, so these are both double piston extenders because as the slime block creation is going up, the slime block would get stuck on the piston there and then it would just stop. And so then I had to do double piston extenders. One is a permanent. That's a permanent. So let me show that. So if it's, yeah. So this is a permanent here. So it's going up and then it gets stopped. Well, this one is for going down, so it goes down and it the bottom gets stopped here, and then it stops here. The top stops there, anyways. And so the other system. So on one side, so on this side it's a stopper. On the other side it's an activator. So this activator, let me see if I can figure out how to activate it. How would you? Oh, here we go. So pressing the button up here. So let me just open the door. So pressing the button here would activate that observer, and that observer would activate that piece of redstone, which pushes down the piston, which then activates this. That's the activator. So you can actually see it working here, and so it would tell it to be pushed up, and the reason why it goes off twice is because it's a button. So it activates whenever I hit it, whenever I don't hit it, which doesn't really matter. All you need to do is just cause it just one update, or however many updates, as long as it's fine with that. And so then it would just go up and then get stopped here because that's perpetually on, and this would be the floor. And I you can't, I tried to place a block there, but it messes with this observer here, so don't place any blocks there. I wanted to place a chest there, but with the stopping mechanism, it would have stopped at one block short because I put the chest in later. So if I wanted to put the chest in, I'd have to put it there, there, or there, because those are the only spots that would be available. And yeah, also if you press the button there, it activates the piston, which kind of just pushes one out, which is fine. So yeah, let me actually go in it and show you how it works. So let me go. Yeah, you can only go up here since it's the last floor, so you can see those two close, and it breaks because it just wants to. Why did it break? Let me go and investigate. Did I leave something on? Let me try and figure this out. So one thing about trying to fix it is it's fixable with moving stuff around as long as these two slime blocks aren't touching. If they're touching, then the whole thing won't work, and you'll have to rebuild this section here or that section there, whichever one you want to recreate, because fixing this is very difficult. That worked. Yeah, I think it's good now. Let me just go up. Yeah, okay, now it's working. I don't know why it stopped there. Maybe something wasn't completely working, but most of the times whenever I've been testing it, it's been working pretty fine. And now I can't place that block there. Whoops. Because for every placement of these, I've been facing this way, so I'm just gonna keep with that theme. So I should be able to place it here. There we go. There we go. So it should have gone to the top floor, or not the top floor, the middle floor, since I was on the bottom floor. So if I wanted to go up, I would press the button. As you can see, it works. And you can either bounce here, and or you can stand on one of the blocks, or just be in the corner, just here. And the door opens. You can see it opening there. And so then right here you see you can't go up because it's the end. But if you place a block there, then you go back down. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I'm glad I was able to create something like this in the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, because my first elevator that I've created, it was only two stories, and you can only go a certain amount of blocks. That's because I wasn't using a flying machine. I was using just pistons pushing it up in sequential order, and then doing the same thing downwards. And so then yeah, so if you're on the bottom here and it's like, hey, I want to go somewhere, but the elevator's not there, and so you're just stuck on this floor, you can just hit the emergency and then land on the slime block and not the piston there, because then you would take fall damage. Then there's just a little gap there. So if it's on the top floor, or go to the top floor. So yeah, this is working fine now. I must have hit something whenever I was showing it. I'm gonna squish myself there actually. So yeah, if I'm here, then I could go to the middle floor, hit the emergency door, and then just kind of jump all the way to the bottom here, and then go out here. If I wanted to go to the bottom floor, but the elevator isn't there, and so then the only way to get the elevator to go anywhere would be to be here. And if I did create an elevator call system, it would probably only be able to go all the way to the top floor, since I can't have it go down, because this is the down thing, and the down thing is I can't activate because the button's there. Or I could set up a system here so then it goes to the middle floor, or the second one from the top, because if I activate this one, I would be able to activate this one because there is no up thing here, so then I would be able to just say, hey, go down, you can't go up. So but I just didn't put it in, and I actually developed a system to determine whether it was from this part here. If you send it to go down, it would store that the elevator's down, and if you wanted it to go up, it would store it to go up, because I had this system here where it had 2 observers, and it went into an RS NOR latch, I think it's called, where it stores the information on whether you went up or down. But I then realized that I wasn't able to activate the elevator because of this system here. So if I wanted to do that, I would probably have to redesign it, which I didn't want to do. So let me go down to the bottom floor. And if you do the emergency door thing, it stays open until you go to that floor. And then as you leave, it blocks it off again. So yeah, it's this is just the elevator that I put here. And if you wanted a faster elevator, you could create, like, you could put this here instead, the faster one here instead. You just have to redesign a few things, because the activator is here instead of in the corner, and also the main reason why you wouldn't want to do this is because if you put this, if you imagined it turned 90 degrees, you could get stuck in this 2-block gap here, and so then you'd kind of be stuck there. So that's why I want to create something like this, to where you could add maybe a couple blocks. I tried to create a system where I could like expand upon it, and I ended up doing the opposite of what I wanted to do. So I was messing around and I put 2 pistons there, and as you can see, here it pulls it, and it should be pushing it. So instead of pushing it, it actually pulls it. And then if I go the other way, I'm just going to destroy this block. And then if I go the other way, it's now going to push it. So I wasn't able to figure out how to do it, but I did do the opposite of what I wanted to do. Which is kind of funny, I thought. So yeah, and I also thought I would do a tutorial on how to create this real fast. So I'm actually going to mirror it, maybe? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this actually. I'm just gonna create the same exact thing except put over here. So I will try and do that. So you put an L-shaped thing here, and then you want to place that there with the block with the glass here. So it would only activate if it was there. Let me just put in these. So this is the tutorial part of the video. And then after that, I'll be done. I will announce that I will be trying to create, I will try and recreate my 6x6 piston door, because the reason why I didn't do a tutorial on the other one wasn't because, well, the first main reason why I didn't do a tutorial was because uh, it was just too big, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a long tutorial if I try to do that, and I just broke it. And if that ever happens, and so you can see this section here is mainly facing the right way. So what you need to do is push this section, and this is gonna activate this part here, is just push this section in, and if it keeps on doing that, then just compress it. So basically, place a piston there, make sure it stays there. And whenever you're doing this, try and not have it like an observer in that spot, because then as you're removing it, it'll start moving again and you don't want it to move. And so that's basically how to fix it if it's broken, except whenever the slime blocks are connected, which occasionally happens. It doesn't happen by itself, it's just if you're messing with it, like what I'm doing. And so then it would just kind of break. I think, is that it? I think that was it. Let me test it. No? Let me try and compress it again, see if it works. Do this here, and then put that there. Oh wait, you can see it's mainly on the right side, so it won't be able to be pushed that way. So I actually need to compress it the other way. And just as a safety feature, I'm gonna put some obsidian all the way out here. And because I was thinking, it's like, man, obsidian's the only thing that won't move it, because now furnaces will also be moved and not stopped. So I was thinking about that, and anytime I'm like adding a chest or something, I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't want to add an ender chest because that'll stop it. And I never thought, like, oh, there's another block that can stop it besides obsidian, because the ender chest is made out of obsidian, so I automatically guessed it to not be able to do that, but for some reason it didn't click in my head that I could use ender chest instead of obsidian to do it. So it should work here, I say confidently. Why has this not worked? Oh yeah, because I need to activate the pull. So I pull, you can, whenever I had it just facing up like that, you could, yeah, see it works. Now I need to put the other pull. The main problem that I have is just this piston here is in the wrong part. So if I didn't have this section here and I just did this, so this is the main problem that I was having. The sticky piston was here. This was supposed to pull it, but it wasn't pulled there. So with this contraption, I have it to where the slime block's already there and it pulls it over. But then I also need to activate it, and so then I just put that there. But then it doesn't. I can't add any more blocks to it. With this one, what it does is whenever it's let me see how I can demonstrate this. So if I get rid of that, that was the wrong one to get rid of. So if I get rid of this, you can see that the same problem is happening. This sticky piston here is on this side, and I need to activate it as well. So that's the main problem with these things here. And so also one thing that I did want to show is because I don't have a normal piston. There we go. I wanted to, that's the wrong way. So you can see how it works here. So I have that there and that there, and actually I think it's the other way. So it's like this, and so then if it's moving in this direction, I want this to not be pulled, and so then this whole thing here gets moved back all the way to here, and so now it's like that, and so then this block will activate that sticky piston, pulling it forward and doing that, and it'll work the same thing except opposite if you're going the other way. So that's how that system works. I just wanted to throw that in there, and I think that will be it. And I was talking about the 6x6 piston door. The main reason at first why I wasn't making a tutorial video on it was because it was so big, and it would have taken a long time to try and do a tutorial on it. And I was like, okay, whenever I really feel ready, I'll do it. But then an update came around, and it completely broke it. And so then, right now, it just doesn't work at all. So, if I wanted to do a 6x6 piston door, I'd had to rework it, and I think that'll be the next project that I'll be working on, is reworking that 6x6 piston door, and maybe doing a different system, different way of doing it. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.